What's up, everybody? Welcome to Log On Games Weekly for Friday, September 11th. On this episode, we are going to go over the Xbox Series S and Series X prices, release dates, and all the goodies that come along with that. We talk a little bit about this Switch 4K now that it's a little bit more real as well.
A little more real?
A little bit more real than it was last week.
Ooh.
Call of Duty Cold War got a big old multiplayer blowout, and just a couple, I guess, like an hour before we recorded this, Ubisoft Forward ended and had a whole bunch of announcements. So we will go over some of the highlights of that as well. With me today, as you heard, you can find him on social media at xuser8x. We have Matthew with us today.
What's up? That was
What's up with you?
really dramatic.
Pop me
Yeah. You can hear the guy that we just got over on twitch.tv/Marty the Moth, Casaus. We have Marty Casaus with us today.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Marty the Moth here, Martin Casaus. I stream on Twitch.
How's the stream? How was
kick
it?
people in the face. It was good. I suck at Call of Duty still. So
Hey,
we need to get on there and do this as a podcast. You guys both have Call of Duty because this needs to happen. If so.
No, I don't.
Which one?
The new one, whatever the newest one is. That's not the one that we're going to be talking about.
I have not played a Call of Duty.
I don't have it downloaded.
I haven't played a Call of Duty, and I don't know how long.
But I have it.
Samesies, but I was told to buy this one, and so
I didn't even download Warzone.
Oof.
I tried Warzone.
I watched people play it, and I'm like, man, that seems like a good game for other people.
It's intense, and I can't wait to beat the co-op so I can go on to Apex and play with you guys.
I mean, it's no Fall Guys, but
Yeah, I love me some Fall Guys.
Fall Guys in Call of Duty. That's what we need.
That's right.
I know. I deleted Fall Guys this week, not because of Fall Guys, but because I have no space, and there are too many good new games. Oof. I need the space. What I need is a PS5. That's what I need.
Well, external hard drive.
That's true.
Yeah, but we're too close to the PS5.
That's facts. Come on, PS5.
Well, speaking of PS5, we will talk about that a little bit later. But if you didn't hear last week, you haven't been on our social media, maybe it's the first time you've listened to us in a while or whatever, we have a giveaway going on right now for a $20 PSN, Xbox, or Nintendo eShop card, depending on which one you want.
Give it away. Give it away now.
All you have to do is go on our Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We are at Logon Games on all those social media pages, and we have a giveaway post. You can just make sure you're following us, and you comment. You can comment anything you want. I think what I posted is what would you get if you won or something like that. So that's what most people are commenting. But as long as you comment and you follow us.
Was there any clear leader in the answer to that question?
Good question.
No, there was not.
Is a smattering of things, a cornucopia of games.
Usually, Instagram kind of takes most of the people when we do a giveaway.
Okay.
But this time around, Twitter has I think the most stuff. So we got. I'll see what we got so far. Nintendo eShop, or I got a Nintendo person. Games like XCDE. I don't know what that is, but that's what they said. Someone said I would gladly buy Inside.
This got to be Xenoblade Chronicles, whatever DE stands for. Maybe
it's possible.
I don't know.
Miguel at Sonic Fan 280 says Smash Bros. Fighter Pass. I'll for sure share.
That's because he's Sonic fan and you can play Sonic. Duh.
There you go. At Grizzy Men said, got my eye on that Mario 3D All Stars.
Yes, right. Go ahead and pre-buy things.
A lot of Nintendo stuff, a lot of 3D All Stars, Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. We got a Jump Force on here, Fighters DLC, Hollow Knight, Dragon Quest 11.
That looks good.
This guy at Neptune 7, saving it for Breath of the Wild 2. That's what he said he would do.
Well, he'll be saving it for a bit.
A lot of Nintendo people on here. A couple not, but a lot of Nintendo people on here. So
I was hoping you'd get somebody to be like, just splurge on some eShop games and then list off like 4 of the games that are $1.99.
You just go on and buy 20 games that are all $1.
Like the ones that are like, what's the name of your game you're playing? Volleyball.
I'm
That's
playing
it.
Frog Dash.
Exact same
But
name,
to be
too.
fair, some of those are gems on the e-store.
For sure.
On the eShop.
Well, if you want to win, again, just follow and comment. If you want an extra entry, you can rate us on Apple Podcasts, or you can share us with your friends. If you're on Twitter, all you have to do is retweet. Anywhere else, just make sure you tag us so that I can see it, so we get the extra entry in there. Or if you're on Apple again, you can rate us and just screenshot it and share it, or screenshot it and send us a message or a comment or whatever. So I'll see it, and you'll get an extra entry for that as well. But this is Log On Games Weekly, the podcast that has all the news and hot topics from the gaming world that you need to know about. New episodes upload every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and basically anywhere you listen to your podcast at.
Basically.
We going to get into the weekly news here. It's been a week. It's been a week. That's all I can say.
Well, it's been the last couple of days, really.
That's true. It's been a 2 days. It's been a day and a half week.
English.
A lot.
We're gonna start out with some Nintendo things because it's very rare this summer that we've had Nintendo news. So I figure we'll just shoot some stuff out here. We had a Zelda game announced 2 days ago. Not the one that people wanted, but maybe the one we needed. If you know what I mean. Another Hyrule Warriors game, Age of Calamity, launching November 20th on the Nintendo Switch. If you are a Dynasty Warriors, that's what it's called, right? The normal games?
Correct.
Dynasty Warriors? Yeah. Dynasty Warriors fan, same idea, but Zelda. You know what I mean?
I've not played the other one. Have you?
No, I have not.
Okay.
But I did look at the trailer for this, and it looks cool. It looked a whole lot better than I thought it would, honestly. The new game, I'm reading this from TheVerge.com. The new game is set 100 years before Breath of the Wild, where players can experience the great calamity that influenced the events of Breath of the Wild. You can get a brief glimpse of the action in the video above. If you go to The Verge, you can watch the trailer for the game or go on YouTube or whatever. But so yeah, story 100 years before Breath of the Wild, before the calamity came. So you get some background for you Breath of the Wild fans, and then again before Breath of the Wild 2 comes out too. So
the prequel.
Or you could go play that first if you have not yet played Breath of the Wild.
That's true. I got a feeling that'd be very rare, but
I've played about 5 hours of it.
I have played
Breath of the Wild?
Correct.
Y'all messed up.
I think it's going to be a very good game once I finally get into it. It has not yet grabbed me, and there's so many other games. I know it's going to be a time sink whenever I go there, and so I'll go there at some point in life.
One day.
Some point. Moving on. So last week we talked. I think it was last week. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Who knows?
Maybe both.
Maybe both. We talked about the Switch 4K Switch Pro rumor that has recently surfaced. Well, we've got a little update to that. I'm reading this from NintendoLife.com. Rumors of a Switch Pro refuse to go away, with Bloomberg now reporting Nintendo has told third-party developers to ensure their future titles are 4K ready. Yet another big hint of the more powerful Switch variant is on the way. The report claims its sources are outside game developers that are familiar with Nintendo's plans, and adds weight to the claim that the Switch will be capable of 4K visuals. Matthew, thoughts?
I don't think this is surprising at all. I think that we've mentioned it before, and my thoughts on it are just that they have to come out with something that'll keep up with PS5 and Xbox Series X games. That when NBA 2K22 comes out on the new systems, that it can still run it well and look good on the Switch. And so not super surprising to me. So yeah,
I agree. I think it was whenever the last time we had Jason on the podcast was, where he was like, I see it being more of a Switch Pro. I can't really see it being 4K, which, I mean, Nintendo does what they want. It would be my question with all of this, is it a completely new thing? Like the handheld's new and the dock is new, or is this just like a 4K souped up dock where you just drop your Switch in and it just...
I just don't think. I mean, I don't know all of the details of what goes into the dock as far as being powered. Obviously, I know that it gives it a boost in power or whatever, and it gives the Switch a boost in power, kind of overclocks it. I just don't know. I don't know what technology would be needed for them to make a dock, because I don't think you're going to be able to overclock the Switch more than it already is. So you're going to have technology in the dock that does some of the work. And I don't know. I'm thinking this is probably just going to be called the new Switch or Switch Pro or something of that nature. But I
Did
think
you just have games that are like
they're
only
going to. I think
playable
it's
on
going to.
Switch Pro or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's going to take the place of the Switch. I don't think they're going to sell the Switch anymore. I think they'll just go with this 4K model and the Switch Lite.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because I mean, 3 SKUs seems too much to me, and the Lite does really well, I think. But I think that'll get phased out over maybe the next year or so. Maybe by next holiday, you're only seeing this Pro, unless they don't release this thing until next holiday, which I don't think that's going to be the case.
This report says most recently we saw reports from Taiwan that a new model is in production and will launch in 2021 alongside major software releases.
I'm thinking that's a March-ish thing.
Yeah, this is when Breath of the Wild 2 shows up, I would assume too.
I think we're farther away than that for Breath of the Wild.
Shall see.
I think
Marty, where you come down on your Nintendo Switches? Are you a Switcher?
I love the Wii, but I never got a Switch. I always wanted a Switch.
Hey, Marty.
Yo.
I did the. I got to do the Switch snap.
The Switch snap.
Hello.
Yeah.
You need to see. Last week we had Robot Giggles on, and she was streaming live during the podcast, so we kept hounding their chat to get her a Switch. So we need to do that with you.
Yep. It'll be her Twitch Switch.
I would love to have a Twitch Switch. I've always wanted these things. Being a wrestler, of how much I travel, I need this thing in my hand so I can play Mario Kart. However,
100%.
Nintendo has always been like a graphics inferior thing, so this was eventually going to show up. Like it had to.
Yep.
Well, it has been. You're right about that. But they did a smart thing with the Switch, and they basically said, we're not competing with the big systems, but we're going to make it powerful enough that the new games coming out for those systems can just be downscaled and work on ours. And that's been to me, that's why the Switch has succeeded. Okay. Because everybody that wants to play Zelda or Mario or Animal Crossing or those kind of things, they were going to get a Switch anyways. There's a ton of people that have bought Switches that have been kind of interested in Zelda or Mario, but oh wait, you mean that I can now play Doom and take it with me wherever I go instead of having to play it at home? Okay, cool. Wolfenstein, I can take it with me. Yeah, I mean, it's just go on. There's just the list goes on.
You're not going to get all the third-party games, but you're going to get enough.
Yeah, and
like Madden, for example, Madden didn't come out on Switch, but PGA Tour that just came out did come out on Switch. But whether or not it runs well or not is a completely different story.
But would Madden come out on a
Switch
Pro?
Or Switch Pro?
Yeah.
Because we know already from our EA exploits that Madden doesn't really work anyways.
That's true. I mean, it's not going to work. Have it not work on Switch.
On everything, right?
That's right.
Universally suck.
That's right.
Oh, man. So, yeah, it's been nice to get a little bit of Nintendo news since we've been without it for so long. And there's still rumors out that they have a fall game or a holiday game that they have yet to announce. It's supposed to be substantial, but that it remains to be seen. But
when is Fall Guys coming to the Switch?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Soon. That makes the most sense of anything I've ever heard in my life.
Facts.
100%.
Fall Guys is taking storms somehow. I don't like everybody's nuts about Fall Guys, and I get it.
And you know what else?
And it's fun. What's up?
You know what else? Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 on the Switch. Kill.
What?
Is it not on there already?
I don't think so, but maybe I'm wrong. I've been playing the heck out of that game.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I've been playing Avengers. I popped super hard when we talked about Avengers back on the podcast before, and the second that thing came up, I bought it like at 10 o'clock in my time because it's 12 o'clock Eastern.
I bought it 2 days. I bought it Tuesday.
Oh,
So I've been working on it.
PS4, right?
Yep.
Dude, why don't we like saving the world together?
Because I'm about 2 hours into the campaign.
Sweet, me too.
There you go.
This was what I think we talked about on the podcast. So there was a supposedly leaked photo of the Tony Hawk like buttons or whatever button screen.
Okay.
And it has a Switch controller that's like telling you what the buttons do. So it's possible that it's coming to the Switch at some point. And then Apex comes to the Switch in the fall.
Do you think that's when crossplay comes?
I think so. I think they did say that that's when it's going to come as well. But we'll find out.
I am stoked for some Apex.
There's so many games that are out right now. So many good games.
Marty was playing some Call of Duty today. Are you aware? Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer was revealed yesterday.
That is too long of a name.
It is. They did a gigantic blowout, and I'm reading this from the PlayStation blog, and it is just filled with everything they talked about. It was like a 20-minute thing, so maybe even longer than that. So it is quite beefy. We're not going to go over everything that happened in this. I think the most notable things for me, obviously I'm not a Warzone player, but there is going to be some sort of Cold War, maybe like a map, integration in some way for Warzone. And so that Warzone and Cold War both kind of have,
Cold Warzone.
Cold Warzone.
Ooh, I dig it.
But the fact that, Cold War doesn't have to come out with its own battle royale like it did last time, because Warzone's already there and it's super successful. So they're just going to kind of merge it a little bit, I believe, is kind of how I received it. It is way more grounded, which was one of the things for me personally that I wanted out of a Call of Duty game. Specifically, I think down here somewhere on this. Yeah, so it talks about sprinting, it talks about sliding, jumping, but basically not the Black Ops that you remember. I will say that. You remember when they had jetpacks and they were wall running and all that kind of crazy stuff?
Yeah, I wasn't into that. Was not into that.
No more.
That's what Tony Hawk's for.
That's what Tony Hawk's for. Yep.
All the jetpacks.
Yeah. But as far as Black Ops goes, like I said, I've never the Call of Duty games I've recently played, being this last one up until I probably played it for a good month, I would say. But then World War II before that, I liked a lot, specifically because it was a lot more grounded, like the old school games. And that's kind of what the multiplayer for this. If you want to go, there's a bunch of people that played it, a bunch of like streamers and influencers that have played it and posted stuff on YouTube. So if you're interested, you can go check out your favorite streamer from that. And yeah, I mean, it looks, as far as multiplayer Call of Duty goes, it looks like I want it to. I don't know if I'm not a huge Call of Duty person, but a lot of game modes. One game mode is in a freaking ocean. There's like sharks swimming around, and you can like snipe people underwater. It's crazy. That's what we all want.
We all want to shoot stuff underwater. Yes,
exactly. It's set in the 80s. There's the map that I think has been mostly shown as the Miami map, and it's in the 80s, so there's neon lights everywhere and some club music going on, and we all like that vibe. You know what I mean? We're all about that.
All about that life.
Some game modes. I'll just go over a couple of these. VIP Escort, 6v6 objective core game mode. Teams either protect or subdue a randomly selected player, becomes a VIP. I don't know if that's been a mode in other Call of Duty games before. It's definitely been a mode in other shooters before. Combined Arms is a 12v12 battle. It combines infantry and vehicular gameplay. Combined Arms is a larger scale mode where the action is tailored to the environment it takes place within. Depending on the map, vehicles such as tanks, snowmobiles, attack helicopters, and wake runners will amplify and advance the action alongside traditional gunfights. Everybody, Matthew, you gotta get on that snowmobile.
You know me, I'm a snowmobiler. I've been on them in a lot of video games before.
Just like in real life. That'd be fun. I like vehicles, and like literally, I'll just like try to run over people. I ran over somebody today in Call of Duty. It was super fun. Just like
you should have stopped your sentence there.
I should.
I ran over somebody today.
I ran over somebody today.
It was a good time. It made me feel happy.
Best vacation ever.
Best $40 I've ever spent. But yeah, it looks good. If you're interested again, go check out. They did a huge stream on this. And if you're a Warzone fan, I know a bunch of people going in were nervous that they were either going to do another battle royale or that was just like kind of screw Warzone over, or there'd be different players on each one or whatever. But it looks like they're going to kind of join forces with that one. So. And they did reveal, it didn't announce or reveal anything about zombies mode, but they did say that it is confirmed. So that's in there as well. We'll move on. 2 more things before we get to the Xbox stuff here.
Alrighty.
Another Ubisoft forward, which is their like kind of game stream, happened today, and we're not going to go over everything that happened in this game or in this stream as well. We'll go over 2 of the major ones. I mean, there was a bunch of Rainbow Six stuff, Division 2 stuff, the crew, a bunch of add-on content for games like that. But games that were announced, I don't know if you remember the game called Gods and Monsters that Ubisoft announced quite a while ago, but they changed the name. It's called Immortals Phoenix Rising, and it is coming this December to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The only way I can really describe this game for you listeners is it looks a lot like Breath of the Wild. It is an open world Breath of the Wild style game. Combat looks very similar. The world looks very similar. I don't know if it'll be as good, but one would hope. One would hope. Maybe Matthew will put more than 5 hours into this game if it's good, though. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Probably not.
But it's not coming to the Switch.
Still, I don't think it's for me.
The other big one that was announced was Prince of Persia, Sands of Time remake.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. Now we talking.
Developed by Ubisoft's Pune, I think Pune is how you say it, and Mumbai Studios, Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake. It's a faithful recreation of the original game with some visual and gameplay enhancements. Yuri, I can't say his last name, who voiced the prince in the original Sands of Time, will reprise his role in the remake. Marty, did you play the original?
I didn't, but I always wanted to. So now that I have time and scheduled time to play video games, I'm gonna play the living crap out of this one.
It's good, man. It's good.
GameSpot originally scored it a 9 out of 10. Bet you didn't know that. Fun facts of the day. Matthew, I don't personally remember playing this game. I think I may remember watching you.
I did play it. I don't know that you did.
Are you excited?
I am glad. I think Prince of Persia is a genre, is an IP that needs to come back. We hadn't heard from it in forever. And there was some quality stuff, with this being the most quality of them all, which I think outside of this Prince of Persia, I think I've only touched whatever other games it came out with for short periods of time. This one I played all the way through, finished. Great game, really good game. I'd be down for this. Yeah. We're in the age of remakes, man.
Yeah, we are. In addition to overhauled visuals, I think kind of like how Crash was. Like Crash got remade and then it sold really well, so they made another one. I'm thinking maybe they're remaking this instead of just going ahead and doing a whole brand new Prince of Persia game. Just remake this one. If it sells really well, maybe they'll make a brand new one.
Yeah, that's possible.
So, Prince of Persia fans, if you want a new one, yeah, go out and get it. You know what I mean?
Did they announce console?
Xbox One, PS4, and PC, I believe.
No Switch announcement.
Okay. No Switch.
But
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's sometime in January, I believe, is when it's going to be released. So
I wouldn't be surprised for a Switch release later.
No, not at all.
Or PS5 or whatever. So I think we had a listener question all the way back from last week before we go on to the topic of the show, if I can find it.
You can't.
I might not be able to.
You can do it.
Especially my internet didn't want to work.
Well, your internet's not as good as it used to be.
Well, I'm pretty much as far away from the router as I can be.
Oh, I just
well,
saw
ain't get that fiber no more.
That needs to happen in my life, guys. Fiber needs to happen in my life.
Andrew moved and is no longer able to get it.
No longer fiber.
Fail.
It's the upload speed that's the best, I will say. I missed the upload speed. I had to upload like something else like 15 gigs or something to a Google Drive, and it took like 2 hours. I was like, this would have taken like 2 minutes.
Well,
like I might as well just like go to Walmart and do stuff.
Steal the internet.
Yeah. So we had another question from our boy Roman over on Twitter. He says, I'd probably like. Hold on, let me. This is a two-parter. Questions are intended for the next episode of your podcast. Yes. Yeah. Last episode he asked us about Madden, if you remember.
Got us into the rant.
Yeah. By the way, have you played? He's talking about NBA 2K21 here. Have you played it yet? What's your opinion? ? And the second question is, which sports video game franchise is your biggest passion? I have not played 2K21. I think maybe 2K18 or 19. Maybe it was the last one that I actually purchased. I played last year's for about 3 seconds because it was on Game Pass for a little bit.
No, it was free game of the month, right?
Yeah, it was, but I played it on Game Pass. I never downloaded it when it was free game of the month.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. The microtransactions thing started and took over, and I was just not about it. So I quit playing it, as well as it has the Madden problem now a little bit, where there's not any competition, and it seems like they've kind of slacked because of that. So the servers are crappy. The last one I think I played was 2K19, like actually really played. And the servers were just super crappy. Me and some friends were trying to play like the park mode where you have your created character and you go around and play street ball based or pickup games with other created character people online. And it was just like you get kicked out every 2 seconds and it just didn't work and it was glitchy and it was just bad. And then the microtransactions on top of all that. So I just quit playing. And then this year, I have not played it. But apparently the shot meter is just awful to the point where NBA players are like, this needs to be fixed. And then NBA 2K was like, all right, we're going to work on fixing it. Sorry. So that's all I know about NBA 2K21. The rest of the modes could be good. I don't know. But from the research I've done, which is not much, but just basically what people have said on Twitter, because I follow a bunch of NBA people and they're just like, so the shot clock is like, or the shot meter, like, what's the deal? People were like, it sucks. That's the deal.
Wow. Yeah. I stopped playing them a while ago. When VC became king is when I got out. And I will say I played off and on over the last few years. I've played via SharePlay a bit, just simply for the reasoning of we like doing the franchise mode and doing a draft and building a team and simulating everything. I like stuff like that. I love Football Manager. I love Out of the Park Baseball, games of that nature that are literally just meant to be run the team, run the program games. I like that. I think that's fun. But I haven't played NBA, and I downloaded it when it was free game of the year. Started, and I got into the franchise stuff, and they have changed a lot of it from last year. And I played for about 2 hours, and that's about it.
There you go. Marty, I'm going to give you the second part of the question.
Yeah.
What is your biggest sports video game passion that you've ever come across?
It's gone in waves. I used to love football, but now my attention span's so short. Like I can't make it through a whole game of just sitting there playing games. So like, then I went into wrestling, and like Raw versus SmackDown was a big thing during the time. So I was really having fun with that. But then that became my every weekend. So like I just couldn't handle it anymore. So it was football. then went into wrestling, and then now I'm searching for the next big thing.
Well, the last 2 WWE games have been garbage too, so that doesn't help either.
Yeah, that was my last attempt to jump into the wrestling game thing, and well, that hurt me. It hurt me, guys. It hurt.
Yeah. Hey, I have played again. I'm in the sim thing. Fire Pro Wrestling, which is a completely different style of than what 2K is trying to do. It's very cartoony, old schooly. But they also have a manager mode on there where you can create your own company and watch your guy. You put the matches all together and then compete with the big ones in the world. I think that's fun. But yeah.
So you like the managering stuff. You like the
I love it.
Well, all right. You like the one being in charge.
I don't like to work. I like my video games to feel like I'm
working. Matthew, what's your biggest sports? I think I know.
I don't know.
Whether I'm just saying through the years.
Through the years,
I think you've probably
most
put
consistently
more time into racing games than you have any other.
No, I would not agree.
Just hours.
I have played a lot of racing games, and there's some really good ones out there. I would say more time into FIFA than anything else.
Ooh, that's a good one.
True.
But again, since we're talking about it, since it's new, does Tony Hawk count? Because
yes,
we sure put a ton of that. Does Rocket League count? Because we put a ton of time.
I think Rocket League counts as a sports game, but
yeah,
it's
I think
of its own.
If I'm not going to count Tony Hawk because it's a sport, but it's different. I don't necessarily think that in the way he asked that question that he was thinking Tony Hawk or SSX.
I don't think he was thinking about wrestling either.
For me, it's really close to me between FIFA, which was king for a long time, and then MLB The Show, which has more recently become my favorite. But I will say the one thing that FIFA has going for it that other things don't is that there is some competition. PES is getting better, and FIFA kind of went into cruise mode for a few years. And from watching some of the stuff they're doing in the new game coming out here in a couple months, they've really, really, really changed a lot of stuff. Sure, the overarching game is still the same because you don't want to go too far away from that or you'll lose the amount of fans they have. I forget what it was. I saw the number. Just Ultimate Team alone on FIFA accounts for like 30-something% of EA's money intake for the year.
Yeah.
That is insane. So they're not going to change too much about that, but they did a lot of good gameplay things. Gameplay for the most part has just kind of been what's going to be the overpowered thing. It's almost like each year they change the sliders. Almost this year, it's really these finesse shots are just overpowered. The next year, headers are. This past year, you couldn't head the ball if you wanted. If you were wide open in front of the goal and hide your kids, you don't know where that ball's going. It doesn't matter. And so, but they seem to have listened, and there was a lot of pushback over the last couple of years. And from what little bit I've seen, of course, it's the same company that does Madden, so they've taken some things from Madden and incorporated them, like all the different challenges that you can do to earn players and stuff. You can now do co-op, which is awesome.
I think it's the competition part is why FIFA stayed.
I think so.
PES and is especially. I'm not a soccer person, but this year PES is free, and if I remember correctly,
I've played
it's either
PES.
free. I know they're not coming out with like a 2021 version or whatever like they normally do.
Sure.
They're just having like a gigantic like update to the current game, and I'm pretty sure it's free as well.
Which honestly, what that tells you is that they're going for it next year.
Yeah, they're probably working on the next gen.
They're going
all
for
this
it.
year, and then as well as next year.
But PES is really. I've played it the last 2 years, very, very little, but I've played it just to kind of see what it's about. I don't like it. I don't think it's as fun as FIFA, even with FIFA's problems. But it doesn't matter. If it has enough clout behind it, enough sales behind it, it's going to get FIFA's attention and they're going to improve.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not a Slugger person, but it's in recent memory, the last 5 years, it usually gets 7, 8, 9s out of 10s. So
yeah,
around
but
that range. So I mean, that's what you hope for, especially when NBA Live was trying to compete and it was getting like 2s and 3s. You know what I mean?
Correct. And I really hope for a couple different things. I really hope for another baseball franchise to really catch on. There's been a lot of baseball franchises that have made games, but have not made realistic games. You have your RBI baseballs that come out and stuff like that. And I forget what the name of the other cartoony one that almost is like backyard baseball looking. I can't remember. They've come out with 2 games. They've done really well, but they're not really competing with MLB The Show. So
Yeah.
I would like for another company to come out with a game like MLB The Show to where they up their game a little bit. And I'm also curious to see whether or not they try to go cross-platform in the future.
I thought they were.
They may be.
This was last year that they were doing just PlayStation.
That may be the case, but it's a very I'm full disclosure, playing it right as we speak. There's some things on here challenges wise that you can kind of do without having to use your brain very much, and that's kind of what I'm doing while I do the podcast at the moment. But it's a really good game. They need to bring back full-fledged online franchises. They kind of halvesy did it this past year, but Andrew will tell you that's the reason I got into this game in the first place. I did online franchises with guys that I now have 30 or so friends from across the country that I had never met otherwise, that I have met a couple in person now, and this game is the reason why. And yeah, the online franchise is a big deal. It's in every other game that you can think of. Madden kills it in their online franchises. I don't know why they have such an issue putting it back in this, but yep. So for me, FIFA and MLB, I would say.
Alrighty. Well, let's go to the big old story of the week. Xbox late, September 8th, 9th, I don't remember. 2 a.m. One of the more reliable leakers, I'm blanking on his name, basically leaked out the Xbox Series S, a picture of it and the price and everything. And then that snowballed into a bunch of more legit websites and more legit people confirming that and leaking out stuff of their own and the specs and all that kind of stuff. And then Xbox tweeted out the meme of that little puppet with the eyes looking like, oh crap. And then the next day they're like, oh, I guess there's no reason to keep it a secret any longer. And then they just kind of did the whole big reveal and came out with the videos and all that kind of stuff. So Xbox Series S has been released, has been announced.
Been released. Whoa.
All right. Nice.
I will say this, though. The prototypes of just what they look like have been going out to people. Where's ours? You know what I mean? Where's our fake Xbox X and Series S?
I don't know that I want either one of those things as an eyesore in my...
Just have them. Then you can pretend.
I know, right? I sell it on eBay.
Facts.
But yeah, this week they revealed the Series S, a less powerful entry. I'm reading this from GameSpot.com. A less powerful entry next-gen system. The S supports 1080p and 1440p resolutions and up to 120 frames per second. It'll feature 4K upscaling and ray tracing. Critically, it is an all-digital console and comes with a 512 SSD. So basically, the dumb tech version of this is it's everything that the Series X is, but half the hard drive and the graphics are not.
It's about half of everything. It's half of everything except for CPU.
Yeah, it's supposed to be able to run the games frame rate wise.
Mm-hmm. In 1440, not in 4K.
Yeah, it's supposed to be able to run the games the same. Just graphically, how they look could be worse depending on what game it is.
I can go ahead and tell you from looking at it, will be worse.
Oh yeah, it will. But it comes in at $299, so pretty dang cheap. And then they confirm that the Series X is $499, and they are both coming out November the 10th, and you can start pre-orders on September the 22nd.
Or $399, $499, or $25 a month, or $35 a month if you so choose to pay for them that way.
Correct. So
in that price you get 2 years of Game Pass,
which actually saves you money in the long run.
Correct. both ways too. So it's called Xbox All Access Program. Lets you pay for your Xbox Series X or Series S console over 24 months. That's 2 years. I did the math. If you opt for the Series X, you'll pay $35 a month, while the Series S will cost you $25 a month. And guys, let me just remind you, because this includes Game Pass Ultimate, which comes with Xbox Live, so you get your online play. You get Game Pass Ultimate. xCloud is coming to Game Pass in September as well, so you get all that. And just announced, when they announced all this, EA Play is also coming to Game Pass. So the Maddens and the FIFAs and the NHLs and
they said there's 60 games. 60 games,
yeah.
60 plus maybe that are playable.
All that's coming to Game Pass, which makes Game Pass an even better deal, and no price change to Game Pass as well.
Except for PC.
We don't talk about PC people.
I'm just saying the PC price is doubling from $5 to $10 a month.
Oh, that's still cheaper than it is on console.
Oh yeah,
facts.
But Marty, I'm going to pass this over to you first. Obviously, we have the PlayStation. They're doing something way different. Well, not way different, but theirs is very much, this is next gen. We got next gen games you can only play here. Blah blah blah. Xbox is now pretty much showing all of their cards across the board.
Curds.
I find it very difficult to think that PlayStation is going to compete with the $299 Series S price. Whether that matters or not is a different conversation. But just overall, with all the information I just gave you, Marty, what are you thinking?
I feel like good on them for, oh crap, they caught us. Let's have some fun on social media and then just tell everybody the truth anyway while they're talking about it anyway.
Sure.
So props for them. I don't think PlayStation is going to come down to beat even their digital, the Series S price.
No, because it's way more powerful.
Well, there's one thing to note here. That obviously both Xbox and PlayStation have waited this long, in part because they want to know what the other price is going to be. So, Marty, what do you think? I'm going to look this up. I have our predictions all the way back from January.
Oh, yeah.
We've gone over here and there, and now we have some concrete details so we can see what happened here. So, first of all, Marty and Shibby were the only two people that called that there was going to be two Xboxes.
Yeah, buddy.
Two different ones with two different prices. Me and Matthew both said there's just going to be one, and it's going to be $499. So technically, we got the main one right.
Ding ding.
No, it's going to be $499. Shibby was saying $599 and $499. So he got the two SKUs right, but the prices were off.
Sure.
Marty got the two SKUs right, but he says $550 and $450. So sorry, Marty, you lose, but you also win.
But I think you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think both of their projections were based off of digital and disc. And that was really the only difference between the two.
Well, both of these projections, and even for PlayStation, Marty was the only one that predicted that there was going to be two SKUs. I don't know if you knew that or not, Marty.
I did not.
You were the only one that said
cheater.
You said the same thing, $550 and $450. But you're the only one that said PlayStation was going to have two consoles,
options.
So you win.
That was good.
And then Jason came in. He kind of cheated because he came in the podcast late, and there was already rumors about the S. But he said the X would be $499, which he got right, and the S would be $349, which is $50 off. So so close, Jason. So sorry. And then for PS5, again, Marty said $450 and $550, which still could be true. We don't know. The rest of us only said one SKU at $499. So there's that. And then release date wise, Shibby said that the PlayStation 5 would release on November the 10th. So he got the date right, but wrong console.
Wow.
It may still.
Yeah. None of us guessed the right date for Xbox.
What did I say?
The closest, Matthew, you were the closest. You said November 13th.
Oh, wow.
3 days away.
I'll take half a point.
Do we think both of them, the PlayStation, are going to be in November as well?
I think so, yeah.
PlayStation is definitely, I think it's going to be November. It's going to be interesting, though, because obviously, I've said this before, I don't really think it matters from when the consoles come out. For the first 2 or 3 months, they're all going to be sold out. It's just the nature of the game. Same thing always happens. But a year from now, you know what's going to be on the shelves still. You're gonna be going to Walmart and being like, oh my gosh, there's like 2 Xboxes here. You know, in other words, like it's not selling as well as they want by then. But for the first couple months, everybody's gonna be buying them up, whether they're keeping them or trying to flip them or whatever. But but time will tell. Time will tell. Matthew, what is your thoughts on these?
I think that this ensures a couple things. This ensures, even though they weren't really going for this, and this is not really the part of the conversation, I just want to at least touch on it. This ensures that whatever the Switch 4K Switch Pro thing is that's coming out will not be more than 300. I don't think, because they're going to want to be the cheapest thing out there.
I agree with that.
I don't know if it's going to work or not. I think that
I think this is
I think
a
it
tidbit. I don't remember
ensures-
if it's in Australia or UK, but somewhere like that, the price of the Series S is exactly the same price as the Switch right now, which is interesting. Not in America, but in somewhere. I forget where they said. Say they're like Australia or UK or something like that.
Not in America.
But it's kind of crazy. Continue.
I think that it's clear that Xbox's game now is I say now, and it has been Game Pass, and this is just another way of them saying we're all in on Game Pass.
And getting EA play, as much as we crap on EA, like that's a good get.
It's good if you don't, because you're not paying any more money for it. I don't know. I don't know. I think that they will do very well this holiday. I just don't know the sustainability of the Games Pass thing unless there are games coming there that you can't get anywhere else. I don't know. We'll see. I think that, and I'm not a huge fan of the idea of coming out on day one with a console that's inferior to your main console. So if you want my honest opinion, I don't think that the Xbox One X or Xbox Series X is their main console. It seems to me that the Series S is now their main console. They're trying to get people in their ecosystem much more than they want you to buy their big console.
100%. So to me, the Series X, I agree with you. The Series S will probably, I wouldn't be surprised if in a year or 2 years has sold more than the Series X did. Series X is like,
I think it will from the jump.
It's like your freaking iPad Pro, MacBook Pro thing. Like
I think from day one, it will be the leader in sales by over double.
It could be, because like
maybe
like
way more than that.
You go to the Apple Store or whatever, and you're like, oh, you have the iPad, and then you have the MacBook, and you have the MacBook Air and all the stuff. It's like, but MacBook Pro, that's Mac Daddy. If you really want to go all out, you get the MacBook Pro, which a lot of people do. Same with the Series X. A lot of people are going to want to get the top of the line. They have their super nice 4K TV and their super nice sound system, and they want their console to be able to run everything at top notch or whatever.
Right.
But for most people, and I have some stats here, because I'm about
to
blow the doors off here. About to blow the doors off here.
Oh.
There are 3 billion, estimated 3 billion gamers in the world. People that play video games. Half of those are mobile gamers. So do that as you will. So basically 1.5 billion people that play console PC games somewhat hardcore-ish, regularly, I should say. I would bet that the majority of those people aren't people like us that are going to be like, well, I'm going to get the Series. Like, if Xbox was the only console that existed, we'd be getting the Series X because it runs everything best. And that's what we want.
Right.
But for the people that, they just play Call of Duty and NBA every year, and they go in there, or for the moms and the dads that go into Best Buy during holiday season or whatever, and they just know their kid wants the Xbox to play whatever.
Right.
See this $299 price point, and to be like, it's the next gen experience, and then they probably don't have a 4K TV that with HDR and all that kind of stuff. They probably won't even be able to tell the difference graphically from a game, on a super nice TV to their whatever 1080p TV they have in the kids' room. I think this is super smart in the fact that this is the only category that they're winning against PlayStation.
Well,
that's the competition there.
I think that I think Yes, I guess. Wouldn't say that's a category they're winning compared to PlayStation, because I think it's a category that PlayStation is not interested in. I don't think.
I agree.
I
But
think
I mean, at least when it
I
just
think
comes
that,
to
to me, the Series X is the only thing that they have that is competing with PlayStation right now. Not winning or losing. I'm just saying, but it's in competition.
Yeah,
I
right.
think the Series S and their pricing by doing the $25 a month deal or whatever with Games Pass, all that kind of stuff, tells me that that is so far different than anything PlayStation's doing or wants to do. Or that most PlayStation owners, people that are hardcore PlayStation fans, don't go, that's a $300 one. I just go buy that and get in the ecosystem that way. I don't think that's going to happen very often. I think they have carved themselves a niche in the market to get people in to their ecosystem that don't have systems, or maybe only have a Switch or something of that nature. But people that want to play the best games are only going to go to PlayStation now.
well, it depends. The best because there's a bunch of games that are on PlayStation that you can't play on Xbox.
That's what I'm saying. People that want to play the best games are only going to go to PlayStation, because that's where the best games are going to be.
Well, the majority of the games are on both consoles.
Correct.
And hopefully crossplay.
Yes.
Somewhat, yeah. But as far as, to me, the best games in existence right now are Sony
I
first
would
party
agree,
games.
but to a lot of people, the best games are just Madden, NBA, Call of Duty, Cyberpunk. The games that are going to come out on all the consoles anyway. Avengers, Tony Hawk, all those games that are coming out now are going to come out on both. So
correct, but they are not. You can't, as much as I love Tony Hawk and I've been playing the heck out of it, as much as I really like Avengers and it's really fun and I'm going to play it for a long time, I can't sit here and tell you that either one of those games are anywhere near the quality of game as an Uncharted or The Last of Us 2. It's not close.
It's not. But
you can say maybe you can say I have more fun with this than I do. Okay, that's fine, and that's no issue. But if you want the highest quality made game, it's going to be on Sony.
I would agree, but I don't think that's not what the Series S is marketing towards. It's marketing towards
that's what I'm saying.
The majority of the people that just play third-party games all the time.
Correct.
And the fact that you can get it with the Xbox All Access for $25 a month for 2 years is crazy.
It is, and that's a good deal.
When we were kids, if Dad and Mom had the option to go into Best Buy or wherever and to walk out with a next-gen console for $25 a month, we had all of them.
Yeah.
And that's what this holiday is going to be. They're going to walk in and be like, if they can find one, first of all.
Well, here's another question.
$25 a month, and I don't have to buy a game. You maybe have to buy another controller, but it's like, even if you buy another controller, it's like that's less than $100, and you have two kids that can play.
Sure. Well, here's the other question:
all those games. It's crazy.
The other question is, grandma and grandpa or mom and dad that has a 12-year-old saying, I want this new system, whatever. My personal opinion, I think they would go buy a $300 system. I don't think they're going to do a $35, $25 a month thing. I'm sure some of them will, but most of those people, I think the 25 and 35 a month are people buying it for themselves. College students and above, maybe 16, 17 and up, because they're like, I can afford this, I can do this. Normally, especially when a game comes out or a system comes out in November, that's a Christmas present. And a Christmas present is not something you want to pay for a couple of years. True. Or however long the distance is you pay for it.
True.
But I still think it's a good model. I just think it's clear now to me that because we've said it on this podcast for months, Xbox has to find a way to compete with Sony's first party games. And I think Xbox has just said, no, we don't. We're just not going to make it. We don't care. We're just going to get them in our ecosystem this way.
Yeah,
first party games, we just don't care.
They're trying something completely different.
They care about Halo. They care about Gears. There's like 3 or 4 IPs they care about. And outside of that, they just know our first party games, we want to be fun, but we want a bunch of people to play them on Games Pass. If Sony wants to make games that are better than ours for their people, go for it. We don't care.
They want, yeah, exactly. They don't care if you play all of Sony's greatest games. They want you to play everything else on Xbox. It's kind of what they want. Whether it's xCloud, you can play it from your phone. Whether you, like you said, you're a college kid and you know, you want a next gen console, but you're freaking poor, but you can do $25 a month, and everybody else in your dorm or whatever can do $25 a month.
Sure.
So you all can play all those Game Pass games and everything like that. And then again, you go back home, you can just play it on xCloud and stuff.
Do you?
It's pretty sick.
I think this is a good idea from every aspect, except for, to me, now it's clear that you're not even going to try to compete with Sony. You're just leaving. You're just saying we're not. And I don't know how that's going to go over.
I'll pass this to Marty. Marty, pretend.
I have a question after this.
Yes, Marty, pretend you are a 12-year-old kid here. And your options
That's not going to be hard, is it, Marty?
Yeah, not far off from the
Your options are, listen, Series S is very affordable. Your parents can afford this for Christmas for you. But PlayStation's more expensive, but it has a brand new Spider-Man game.
Miles Morales.
That you can only play on PS5. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go, 12-year-old Marty?
Ghost of Tsushima, you can play multiplayer, co-op.
See, it really just comes down to the game. Like, I really love, what was it? I love the Spider-Man. I loved the last Spider-Man game, and I can only get that on PlayStation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that Avengers? Oh, well, if you want to play with Spider-Man, you got to have PlayStation.
Yeah, smart. So, like,
I think that's the smartest thing that Sony's done so far is, I know they haven't, it's not confirmed, but it was the only game they showed off that said holiday 2020. So that's all but a confirmed launch game for the PS5.
What is?
And even if it is
which one?
Spider-Man.
Okay, Miles Morales.
So even if it is a 10-hour campaign, like shorter thing, it's like it's still a Spider-Man game, which is to the masses. Like you can come out with an Uncharted or Last of Us or whatever, but Spider-Man appeals to more people than any of those games do.
Yeah.
So the fact that that's going to be a launch title is such a big win for them that
type dub in the
Xbox
chat.
has nothing. It would have been. Listen, this would have been a whole lot spicier conversation if Halo Infinite was good and still coming out at launch. Because a $299 next gen console that's going to play Halo at 60 frames, 120 frames, whatever it is, and it's a really good game, like that'd have been something.
See, I think Halo would have been a seller for the X more so than
it would have been for both.
I mean, yeah, but I think more X's would be sold with Halo than without. I think it's going to be
because
about the same on this.
Halo's coming to Game Pass, so you don't have to buy the game. You could go in there for $25, $35 a month.
True.
Get Halo at launch. That would have been a big deal.
See, Halo's the only big seller for me, like for Xbox at all. So, like, if I'm going to go to an next
that's only if it's good.
Yeah, I'm going to Xbox at Series S. I'm just going to get the 300 one because even if I do, because I could play Halo on PC. There's nothing really tickling me to Xbox that I can't buy on PC. Where PlayStation, I can only play Spider-Man on that. That was enough for me, Spider-Man. Spider-Man. There was one other game that I was only on PlayStation. I can't remember what it was that I needed to have.
There's a couple for the
Last of Us.
Oof,
The Last of Us.
Oh, I
for the looks of it, it looks like Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank. What was that one game? Like the space one. I can't remember the name of it.
I can't remember. They announced like 17 games in that thing.
The box art came out. The box art leaked on Amazon, which makes
what is it?
I'm gonna find it real quick. Because there was more than one.
And the box art on PS5 games looks so good.
PS5 box art leaks. Because this kind of lines up with some of the rumors we've been hearing that it's going to be when the PS5 comes out, there's going to be a steady release of exclusive games. Like we're talking like here's a game next month, here's a game next month, here's a game next month.
Oh wow!
So
I do agree. I know the Series X is the only competition toward that PlayStation has. Like,
so Demon's Souls was one of the box art that leaked. Returnal was the one I couldn't remember.
That's a good name too.
Gran Turismo 7, Destruction All Stars, Sackboy's Big Adventure, and then we've already had the Spider-Man thing leaked.
Spooter.
And then Ratchet and Clank, we've seen more gameplay from Ratchet and Clank than we have any other PS5 game by far.
Right.
So that's like 6-7 games that are probably going to come out within the next 6 months from when it releases.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's a pretty, and whenever they do their next
and Horizon
thing,
Zero Dawn, right?
Yeah, plus that game. So
Yep.
whenever that's going to come out, even if it's next fall, like they're going to have over the next year and a half, a bunch of exclusive games, which is what they're all about. So it's glad to see that Xbox, they at least have the cheapest console. They're like, listen, if we're going to be able to win anything now that Halo's gone, we can at least get the cheapest console out there. So
Here's my
I'm more
question.
happy. I'm more happy that it just leaked, which means PS5 doesn't really have to wait much longer.
Right.
Right.
And it seems to me, if you want me to give my opinion, I think they probably knew this was their price all along. They just wanted PlayStation to say theirs first so they could be like, ha, 300.
Yeah.
And so now it's just been released earlier. I don't think PlayStation's scrambling. I think PlayStation's price has been
they
5.
Can't go down that low anyway.
No, I think the PS5 is going to be somewhere between $450 and $550, and I think that the digital version is going to be between 4 and 5. And I think that both of those, any prices in that range for those, I would be happy with, and I don't think that they should worry because we don't have a 300. This may pull them to go 5 and 400. That's possible that maybe they go from 450 to 400.
It'll be $499 for the disc one, which will match up right with Series X.
Yeah, I think so.
Then $399 for the
and I think that, and I think if they do that, to me, they'll destroy in console sales. Games Pass is what Microsoft cares about, but in console sales, they would kill it with those prices. My question to y'all is, do you think that this, if they weren't planning on it already, that this makes PlayStation consider a monthly payment deal?
My guess is that they've probably had something cooked up for a while. Whether they're going to pull the trigger or not is a different story.
Sure.
I feel like subscription is where every form of media is going to go. So you got your Netflixes, your Hulus, your everything. So sure. I assume this has been in the works for a minute.
I mean subscription for paying for the consoles.
Mm-hmm.
For the $25 a month paying for the console.
Unless they've already been planning that, I don't think that's something you can just whip up right now.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I don't see that happening.
They already did the send. You can register your PSN and email, so that they'll email you. So
so you can be more special than everybody else.
Exactly. So PlayStation, you can get pre-order your PlayStation directly from them first before anybody else can if you put in your PSN name on their website or whatever. So
right,
I think that's about all they got.
I think that this is going to push them. I think they're going to come out with pricing probably 30 and 35 or something like that per month for the new consoles. I think they're going to.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
Maybe basically they already were, but I think they're going to.
Like in my mind, how I know that, like, Xbox does not have the games. I don't think even hardcore Xbox people can't argue against that.
Right.
Xbox just doesn't have the first party games to be able to compete with PlayStation first party games. It's not anywhere. It's not even a contest, but it's even less than that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain. There's been like 50 exclusive PSN games that are 8 out of 10s or above, and there's been like 3 on Xbox of this last generation. It's been a massacre. But I just think about what Xbox is doing everywhere else. If PlayStation were to do that everywhere else, they'd blow the world up. It'd be then. Like, PlayStation came out, and if PlayStation came out and they were like, all right, yo, $30 and $35 or whatever a month, depending on if you get the digital edition or the main PS5. And it comes with our version of Game Pass. All the first parties come on that. And we got, we didn't get EA Play, but we got Ubisoft's thing.
What if it just comes with?
And that would be insane.
What if it just comes with gold or whatever? You're the $60 a month deal. PS Plus. There you go. That's what it's called.
Yeah, like if it's the same thing that Xbox Series X is. It's $35. You get PlayStation Plus for 2 years, and you get our version of Game Pass, and all the first party games come on there day one. Yeah. It would blow the world up. the world would explode.
That's true. I fully expect them to not come out with a Games Pass type thing to compete with that.
There's absolutely no reason business-wise to do that.
No, and I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work. I don't know the Games Pass is going to work.
It would work. If they're like, yeah, you get Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, freaking, I don't know.
I'm saying from a business standpoint, I don't know that it would work. It would work. They would have people do it for sure, but they would lose money on people doing that as opposed to buying their games because people are going to buy their games, I think.
For sure.
But I think what they could do is just say, we're not doing Games Pass, but you know how we've been giving you 2 or 3 free games a month? Well, now it's 4 or 5. And I think that that's totally worth it. You know, that's totally okay. I would prefer, I've said it before, I'd prefer that to Games Pass all day long.
They have their PlayStation Now thing.
They do.
Which is honestly Game Pass. It's just way worse.
It's better now than it was.
Yeah, but if they rebranded it, even if it was just that, it's like, listen, you're not going to get the first party games day one. Like, but you know, when this comes out in November, The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be on there. You know, obviously that game's already been out and sold a bunch.
What do they call it? PlayStation
like that. PlayStation
Plus Pass.
PlayStation Plus.
Game Pass. PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus Plus.
But if they rebrand it to be the same thing, where it's like it comes with PlayStation Plus and it comes with their library of games,
right?
Like first party games aren't going to be on there day one, but eventually they will be. Like that'd be incredible too, to be honest with you.
Sure.
Oh, what a day!
What a day!
Marty, all exciting day though. All exciting. Games are coming.
I'm just glad it leaked. So I'm like, finally, we have half of it done. Now PlayStation doesn't have to wait anymore. And I'm glad that the Series X is cheap, which means PlayStation, there's no way they can go. You can't imagine they would be like, all right, well, $5.99 and $4.99 then. You know what I mean? That'd be dumb.
They just need to hurry up and announce it now because I want to know how the heck I can buy my PlayStation already.
Right? Thank you, Marty.
Hurry up, Marty. PlayStation.
Just kidding. That's awesome.
Any final thoughts, Marty? Besides the fact that you want your PS5 for
I want PlayStation 5. I'm excited. I love that it leaked and then Xbox went with it. Prince of Persia, super stoked about that. The Call of Duty, a little interest, but Prince of Persia, I'm really stoked about that. The Xbox games coming out, I'm excited for the new consoles come so the PlayStation can get here. And I'm already ready to play the new one. We've been talking about it forever, so I'm excited to play it finally.
100%. And again, listeners, you need to go over to twitch.tv/Marty the Moth Casaus and get that man a Twitch switch. Man's traveling all over the place for you guys.
I need to play my Mario Kart. I'll play you. You buy for me. I'll play you. I'll beat you good. Me and Yoshi will go whoop your butts.
Your Twitch switch.
You're a Yoshi guy?
I'm a Yoshi guy all day.
I'm a DK guy. Which, let's be fair, I'm built more like Yoshi and you're built more like DK. But, you know,
facts.
Well,
it's all who we want to be, you know?
Waluigi guy, and I'm pretty much built just like Waluigi.
You are built exactly like that's a fact.
And honestly, I was never a Waluigi guy up until like the Switch came out. I was like, you know what? I think it's time that I just
you know what? He looks like me.
He is I, and that we're the same person. So Mario Kart and Mario Tennis.
That makes sense. He does look like you, but he's also purple. You like purple.
I'm a fan of the color purple, both the band and the color. But yeah, Matthew, any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Man, there's just so many good games out right now to play. Avengers and Tony Hawk and Madden if you can get past the menus and get the game to work, and there's just lots. There's a lot of fun happening right now.
Yep. I watched a 3-hour stream last night of people playing Fall Guys, and I was like, man, this game's fun.
And Fall Guys.
Have you not played it yet?
I've played it. I've played it quite a bit. But it's like the perfect Twitch game.
Like, absolutely. Now, I just wish there's a better way for people to get in easier, like with bigger groups of people. Like this 4-party
match or whatever.
Yeah, like there's 60 people in thing, just like Brawlhalla has it. So room code, blah, 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 blah. Everybody jumps in.
Yeah, do your own private server.
Yeah, that'd be fun. It'd be super fun. And I would assume that's coming at some point. Like we said,
you probably won't
get
get
it's coming to the Switch at some point too.
Probably won't get crowns for that. But
that'd be the perfect mobile game as well, to be honest.
True.
Yeah, not a lot of controls. Yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah, I watched a 3-hour stream of people playing Fall Guys yesterday. It was super funny. But what else here? I'm gonna just reiterate our giveaway here. We have a $20 PSN, Xbox, or eShop card. So $20 can buy you a game. You can go towards pre-ordering something. I don't care what you do with it. It's your money. You know what I mean? All you have to do is follow us at Log On Games on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. We have a big giveaway post up already. Drawing will be next Saturday, so that is September the 19th, I believe. We'll be drawing for that, so make sure you get your entries in. Just make sure you're following and you comment on that post. So all you got to do, if you want an extra entry, you can share us with your friends, share the link, just make sure you tag us. Or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can rate us for an extra entry, and you can share that, or just send me a screenshot of it, or whatever. But any post you make that you tag us in it for the extra entry, just make sure you tag us so I see it. Because if you don't, I won't see it, and then you won't get an extra entry. That's just the way that it goes.
Get that credit.
Get that credit. Thank you all for listening to this episode of Log On Games Weekly. Again, new podcast upload right here every Friday.
Whether you want it or not.
Coming up, and whether you want it or not. Hopefully a new show coming soon. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Stay in tune for that. Any comments, topics, like you said, we have listener questions right before the topic of the show. Just tweet at us, send us a message, whatever you want to do, and we will get it on the show.
Yeah. You guys are entering the contest anyways. Might as well just throw a little question in there.
Yep.
Bring it
on.
I got
a hankering by this time next week, we'll have some PS5 news.
I think we're T minus less than 2 days.
This will be the last thing I say before we shut this out. A week ago, I don't remember who it was, but there's a rumor going around where someone said next week PlayStation's actually not going to announce price. They're going to concentrate on PlayStation VR, but then the week after they're going to announce PS5 price. And so far that's correct. They had big, massive PSVR sale. They said they have a video or a stream or something coming out tomorrow or Saturday or something like that. That's going to highlight some PSVR games. So maybe next week we get it. Who knows? But that's going to do it for us. I'm calling. You heard it here first, unless you heard it somewhere else.
That's true. That's true.
You heard it here first either way.
That's our philosophy on what we do.
It is. That's going to round it out here. We will be with you all again next Friday.
Yeah.
All
right, we did it.
We did it, guys.